World. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video, or anybody that might stop in into the live stream. I definitely had to come back and get my bite down boxing fighter of the weekend. Very simple choice this week. And then I have Errol Spence Jr. and Avengers, Thanos, or Nebula situation. With what I saw was going online, I didn't jump on social media to verify it, but I can see things lining up. So quickly, man, let's just get it out the way. The bite down boxing fighter of the weekend, easy pick. Heavyweight Michael Coffie, polite Coffee. I wonder what the hell PAN Coffee means as a nickname. PAN. I couldn't figure it out. But shout out to him, man. That was kind of what I was looking forward to on that card under the Truax, the battle with the Caleb's, Plant against Truax. Plant really didn't move the needle for me a whole lot with his performance. Supposedly he hurt his hand. Very interesting way that the fight was handled in terms of any of the media availability and the post-fight media materials. This is supposed to be a guy who they're all in on investment-wise, the PBC, but no real emails sent, or no photos, no nothing. So maybe they knew they had a stinker. But anyway, polite Coffee. Big boy out of Philly, Damani Rock, really disappointed me, as most heavyweights usually do. To think that Anthony Joshua can take care of his body and make that a focal point of his training, and this dude is making, $30 million and up per fight, and can be concerned about his fitness. And here's Darmani Rock trying to get to that level and doesn't give a damn about how he looks or how he can perform. I mean, shout out to Coffee for seeing what was standing in front of him. It was one point in time like they were almost elbow to elbow. I think Coffee was in the southpaw stance and was standing right next to Darmani Rock, and they just stood there like they were chopping it up about something. And so you could see that Coffee understood, yeah, this dude is big. He's 6'5" and 260, but he's not in here looking to be violent and destructive. He's really in here on some finesse stuff, some gentle giant. Let me get him out of here. And he kind of lulled him to sleep, slid away from him, popped him with that left uppercut, dropped him the first time in the third round, and then comes back moments later, hit him with a nice compact left hook at the top of the head, got him out of there. Interesting count by, was that Jack Reese, with an interesting count on Damani Rock, trying to do something for us viewing at home and extending that match, giving him every opportunity to get up and recover and continue to fight on. But I think with the knockout, taking care of a guy instead of going 10 rounds and allowing him to make you look bad, shout out to him for that. And then always, finishing off a guy in such explosive fashion, especially as a heavyweight, it's good for with him being thrown in with the Deontay Wilder. He could fight a Gerald Washington, possibly, maybe a Konoski at some point. Both of those guys are from Brooklyn, I believe, or at least New York City. So tons of stuff to do with him, but no sense in rushing it. Getting started in the game at 29, there is a learning curve. And, he could jump out there in haste and, take a major setback, possibly. But I like his ambition. I like that he's responsible for his career. I like that he's a thinker in the ring, a pretty cerebral guy, pairing that with the execution and, the athletic ability, good size, good power from what we saw demonstrated. Fight down boxing fighter of the week. Get into this whole situation with Errol Spence Jr., the WBC and IBF champion at welterweight. You saw what happened, and you saw this happening. Manny Pacquiao becomes made champion in recess as a result of a decision by the WBA, and then they elevate Yordenis Ugas to the super champion. It is what it is. So what I saw was some chatter online and maybe even some screenshots of Errol Spence, the unified champion, now saying, all you needed was one thing or whatever, and now the fight can get done. And to me, this was just like, I don't know if he's an Avenger or Thanos or Nebula. And I know Team Spence and the Spence stands are heavy, but it's almost like past Nebula when she went undercover as future Nebula in Endgame, and they did the whole workaround thing to get Thanos into the future to meet up with them when the Avengers had put it all together. Or is it the Avengers when they went and did the whole quantum realm plan to go back in history at different points to get all the soul stones to undo what Thanos had already did with the infinity fade, with the snap? Or is Errol Spence Jr. Thanos at Vormir sacrificing Gamora for the soul stone? I wish I could have edited that up into something real slick, but I really don't have that much time. But yeah, I could have edited it up to help illustrate what I was just saying. But, you guys, we all were waiting for Spence and Crawford. And now this WBA belt presents itself as an opportunity for Spence to slide in, not face Crawford, and to take on Ugas, who's somewhat deserving of the opportunity. I don't think that's a great fight. It's definitely not pay-per-view worthy in my opinion. I'm going to be consistent. I got very short arms and real deep pockets. I don't go in my pocket for that fight, but it looks like that's what could happen. And so what I'm asking is, in order to make it work, does Errol Spence Jr., does he take does he take less money? Sports and be respectful to the fans? Or since he's established himself as a quote unquote pay-per-view star, do they keep it over on pay-per-view and make fans pay the freight for it? What's he going to give up? What's he going to sacrifice in taking advantage of this opportunity? It's a great opportunity too. Not even for, to set up the Crawford fight financially or anything, but I mean, it's a legacy, it's a legacy defining opportunity to become a 3-belt champion. And then definitely, ultimately it sets up the undisputed fight. But, and there's even less of an argument at that point about what the split will be. Unless it goes back to, like I said, Danny Aiello in Harlem Nights, where he told him, Calhoun wanted to leave you 15%. I wanted more. But how about you guys, though? Talking about an ensemble cast in the Avengers and the Marvel Cinematic Universe and whatnot. Sucks to be him to just have this bit part, where you get a chance to defend it against a winnable opponent. Now, I'm not too mad at this one because you guys did have a pretty good outing against former WBC welterweight champion Shawn Porter, where Porter might have came into that fight a little less focused. We know he had the issue on the scale. He had to cut his braids and had to go back and hit the scale a second time in order to make weight. Did he win that fight? Or did you guys win it? I don't know. I thought you guys could have did a little bit more if he really wanted that belt. I felt like he left some plays on the field where he could have made it without question that he wanted. And I just felt like he didn't do that. Especially coming out from where he came from to get there. I thought he let the opportunity slip away from him a little bit. Or at least he didn't have a strong case to really argue a whole lot. He had a chance to do something about it and he didn't. But with you guys, what's up, Mr. Boxing Today? But with you guys getting this fight, and then we know that, Porter goes on and makes good on it he goes out and has the fight against Errol Spence Jr. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I don't care about the Porter fans and whatnot. I thought that was, at best, it was 7-5 with a knockdown. I think my scorecard was 8-4 with the knockdown late in the fight. So that makes it seem like a pretty insurmountable challenge for you guys to get an actual title defense on his resume with beating Errol Spence Jr. I just don't see it happening. Anything is possible, but I mean, he's not the biggest puncher. I don't know, man. I mean, I've seen some good nights from him, but I just don't see him on Spence's level. And like I said, it sucks to be him that there's no real love being shown for him to get a fight. I see Spence, yeah, all day. But hey, you got to play your role when you over there. You know, at least they did enough to, make him a title holder in theory or in name. And, he gets to be announced as a world champion for that one night. But yeah, I see Spence systematically breaking him down and maybe getting him out of there. And then, moving closer to getting all the stones in the gauntlet to go over there with the WBO champ, Bud Crawford, and see if we can get that undisputed fight. It does also, the move does reiterate the fact that Spence is interested in unifying the division. We know sometimes he waffles a little bit and says that he's not concerned with Crawford, but you are concerned with the trinket that Crawford wears around his waist. So thereby, you are concerned with Crawford. You just want to do it on your own terms. I respect the business, though. I see how it works out. Again, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what the PBC and what Fox Sports does to bring this fight to fans. It's just not a pay-per-view fight, in my opinion. They won't get no money out of me. I wouldn't be out here leading the argument, telling people don't buy it, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, you got to make up your own decisions. If you want to go along with what's happening in boxing, if you want to contribute to it, then go right ahead. Me, I'm going to sit back and watch. Now, I will say this. I need a world title fight in the co-main event for me to consider buying it. I would need a world title fight. And I don't know, these guys at super bantamweight, I don't know if that's a fight. They got a lot of options they can mix and match right there to put that as a title, as a co-main event. I don't know if super bantamweight, the guys that are there, I don't know if those guys are worthy of being a co-main event on a pay-per-view. That probably doesn't work across the board for everybody. I could be a little bullish on that division, whereas others aren't. But I'm just trying to think, how could they make the money work to put a world title fight there? And that is, an option, maybe. But anyway, that's it, man. I just wanted to come on. And like I said, Mr. Heavyweight or Mr. Boxing today, man, I gave my Bite Down Boxing Fighter of the Week to Michael Polite Coffie. I thought that was a good showing for him. Look forward to seeing him in the future. I do just stress, not to jump out there and try to go chase down everybody. It is some dudes in the division that do push-ups, run a little bit, skip a little bit of rope, and actually look like they've been they've seen the inside of a gym, in the last 3 to 4 months, versus what we saw the other day from Damani Rock. Anyway, I'm out of here, man. Bite Down Boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. 1.